Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about something that I know everybody's interested in. Where my stand is on. First, let's talk about our taxation system. That's what I'm going to talk about, taxes. Why do we have the people regulating and in charge of our taxes who can't even pass their own standards of taxation paying? Look at all these people. That President Obama's been nominating for cabinet positions that haven't been paying their taxes. And look at what positions these people have held in government. Tom Daschle, Speaker of the House, regulating our taxation program, and while he is not paying his end, I can go on and on. How many congressmen and senators are actually not paying their taxes? But yet they think you should pay every penny. That's right. Plain and simple, here's the way it works. I was making $1,200 every 2 weeks. After taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and any other taxes they threw in, plus medical insurance and the whole 9 yards, I brought home $800 every 2 weeks. Not very good. 1/3 went to insurance, taxes, etc. Why? I ask you. Because our taxation program is based on the worker, the backs of the individual worker. Next thing I'm going to ask you is, who in this country does not pay taxes? Well, a lot of people who make a lot of money find loopholes so that they don't have to pay taxes or pay minimal. Then there's those who work under the table. Why do they work under the table? Because if they make $10 an hour under the table, they bring home $10 an hour. Why does employees pay them that way? Because then they don't have to pay all these other taxes that are charged and insurances that they have to pay. Okay. Then we have the migrant workers. They don't pay taxes. Most of them are illegal aliens, and they pay no taxes. Then we have the illegal aliens that are living in this country that aren't paying any taxes. They pay absolutely no taxes, yet they are very much a burden on our tax system. They use the medical facilities, they use the highways, they use the schools. Look at California. I bet if we really sit down and try to look for true figures, we would find that almost 50% of the people in California don't pay taxes. Why? Because the taxes is burden tied into the working class and not where it should be. So again, we have a lot of people in this country that don't pay taxes. And they add to the burden of the tax program. Taxes pay for everything from people who go to emergency rooms to people who collect food stamps. They pay for a lot of people's homes. They pay for the food they eat. They pay for the medical treatment. They pay for the clothes they wear. Taxes pays for your highways. Taxes subsidize your power lines. Pays for part of your electricity. Taxes pays for all kinds of things. But the burden of the taxes rests upon the working class. Your security in your cities, taxes pay for. Your schools your children go to, taxes pay for. All that is paid for by taxes. The federal government gives the state for each child so much money to help pay for the schooling. The federal government gives a certain percentage of those highways. You see those highway signs, state, federal, for building that highway, for fixing the roads. Your federal government pays for all kinds of things through taxes. But where does the burden of these taxes lay? Upon the American working class. Our taxes are getting way out of hand. Because we have the same people controlling our tax system as the ones who gives themselves an extremely large pay raise every year. Congress. Congress has written a law that they get a certain percentage pay raise annually unless they vote it down. They actually have to say no. So when your congressman stands there and says, I totally disagree with this pay raise, so I abstain. No, he wanted that money, so he did not vote no. Because to stop it, he has to vote no. And these are the people who are lying to you and cheating you that are running the tax program. So what should we do about our tax program? Well, we have a tax program that is based on the working class, not what it should be based on. Then what should our tax program be? Based on the economy. What do I mean by that? Well, who in this nation does not buy things? Who buys clothing? Who buys cars? Who goes to the bar and buys drinks? Who goes to the club? Who goes to dinner? Who buys furniture? Who buys TVs? The very same people that are ripping off our tax system. The people who will work just enough to qualify for the tax program, then quit, get welfare, and then get a tax return of $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 when they only paid in $100. Yes, those people that aren't paying taxes. The illegal aliens that aren't paying taxes. And the working class. Yes, everything we get in our household, we buy. Our tax system should be totally based on our economy. Plain and simple, make it a sales tax. They want to call it fair tax, other different names in Congress. That's to confuse everybody. What does that mean? That means that illegal alien who pays absolutely no taxes now, but goes to the emergency room and ends up using taxes, will be paying taxes. That means those illegal aliens' children who are in our school system, which is fine, will now be paying taxes. That means you, the working class person, when you make $1,200, you bring home $1,200. When you buy something, you pay your taxes. So you could save maybe a little bit more money for your daughter's college, or maybe for that new car you would like to have but you can't afford because of our taxes. Because when you buy that new car, you will pay the taxes on it. Yes, our tax system should be totally based upon our economy and not the backs of the working class. Is it hard to do? No. It just takes a simple act of Congress to change it. But will they do that? They can't even themselves properly pay the taxes on the income tax programs. They can't even understand. If they can't understand it, how do they expect the average working class? Well, they don't expect us because that's the only way they can get more money from us. And that's where our tax program should be. Equitably fair to everybody. No special group, no special interest, no excuse. You can't hide from buying stuff. Sales tax have to be paid. Every time you buy something, the government gets its share. But what will happen is these people who are not paying income tax will now be paying a larger sales tax, while you who are paying income tax won't be paying income tax no longer and get a larger take-home check. And yes, you'll be paying more in sales tax. But the truth is you'll be paying a lot less. And the way they figure it, that once a month you'll be getting a refund from the government until they figure out how to spend that extra money that they get. But bottom line is, our tax programs should not be based on the working class back and their labors. It should be based on our economy and how things are bought within this country. Remember, this is JD. I only say one thing. Don't think Republican, don't think Democrat, think American. Look for the truth. Find the truth. Then you decide. And if you decide what you decide, and then stand for what you decide, then you become an American. And you are now thinking American. Whether or not you agree or disagree with me, you still will be thinking American. Thank you. This is JD.